It's time, UFC Fight Night. Arlovski versus Barnett, this time in Hamburg, Germany. Let's check out a few of these fights. In the main event, Arlovski versus Barnett, clash of styles. Two former champions face each other. These guys are veterans of the sport. And just check out their records, 25-12 and 34-8. That's a lot of fights. Arlovski, he had a lot of losses, and then he joined Jackson Wink camp, and he had a good streak going. He's lost his last two, but he's still up there. I mean, he lost to Miocic and Overeem, and that's now going to be next week, the championship fight. So it's not like he lost to just anyone. He's been more careful in his fighting style since joining Jackson, which is good. But you can only tame someone so much. He has a pretty wild style. He sees people hurt, he swarms on them, and you'll see it come out in his fights. But for the most part, he stays to the game plan. And the problem is he has a questionable chin. In this fight, I think he's going to want to stay on the outside. He's going to want to use those Jackson Wink oblique kicks. And he's going to want this to be a striking match at distance. Barnett, we all know, he's a top-level wrestler. He likes the clinch, grappling, ground. You don't want this guy on top of you. Really, you don't even want this guy in the clinch. And Barnett, his striking is not bad. It's not like he can't strike. He's not some kind of wrestler that has no striking. He has shown more than once he can use his striking to get into clinch distance and get a hold of you. And I think that's what's going to happen here. First two rounds might be a little bit of Arlovski being able to stay on the outside, but I think eventually, whatever round, Barnett is going to be able to get a hold of him, going to press him up against the cage, and is going to dirty box him and use his grappling like he does, and maybe even gets a trip takedown, and you don't want Barnett on top of you. I think Barnett even gets this done in the distance, but the main pick here is just Barnett to win straight up, and Barnett minus 5.5 points, prop over at 5 times. All right, next fight that I thought that was interesting is Bader against Latifi. Now, a lot of people make fun of Bader. They think he's not tough or whatever. Bader is a really good fighter, and he follows game plans really well. He knows what he's good at. He does what he's good at, and that's why he has a lot of wins. He beat Rashad Evans. He beat OSP. He's definitely strung together some wins. Now, last fight he got knocked out round 1, Anthony Johnson, but we've seen there have been a few other people that have been knocked out first round Anthony Johnson. That's not something that is unusual. The thing is, he's facing Latifi, and Latifi is basically a 5'10" version of Anthony Johnson. So I think I'm going to go with Latifi. I am going with Latifi here as the underdog. You get around 3.0 for it. I don't think Bader's going to be able to take down Latifi, and he's not going to want to deal with Latifi's power. And Latifi is going to be able to get some hands on Bader, and Bader is not going to like that. Also, Latifi is not going to be afraid to unload some heavy leg kicks, those big legs of his. And, Bader is going to want to wear out Latifi, bring it to round 3, and then try to win or get a decision. But I think Latifi is going to have no part of that, and he's going to get his hands on him. I like Latifi in the distance, pays well, and straight up Latifi win pays around 3.0, so I will go with that. All right, those are the 2 picks for this card. Yeah, I know it's only 2 picks. There are a lot of other fights on here, but either, the odds are not that great, or I'm just unsure about the matchup, so I'm going to leave them. For example, here, you got Nick Hines, Sargent, Tywin Bang. I think this is going to probably go the distance, but it just doesn't pay well. It pays like 1.4 or something like that to go the distance. I think Rustam Kavalov will definitely win this fight, but the odds are horrible for him to win. For him to win by decision, the odds are horrible. All the odds are horrible for him to win, so it's just not worth it. This I want to see how Askham does here, and so on. There's a lot of question marks here. Another interesting matchup, but it's pretty even, so I don't really have a pick for that. So I'm just going to stick to those two picks this time. Thanks a lot for watching. Check out degenbet.com and also join the Telegram sports betting channel. That is telegram.me/sportsbet. Over 500 bettors, degenerates, tipsters, and handicappers talking about sports 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Thanks for watching, and talk to you next time.